So Democrat Senator Joe Manchin took some pretty clear shots at his party's standard bearer, socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, noting that she doesn't write or sponsor many bills or do much work in her committee. She's more active on Twitter than anything else, Manchin noted. He's right, of course, because AOC's TV interview to bill writing ratio is astounding, really. It's always made me wonder how the unheralded lawmakers and the unknown staffers who work long hours together to actually craft legislation that has a chance of passing, how they feel when they get home and turn on the TV just to see their unaccomplished colleague talking about...
Release a document that talked about cow flatulence, but...
which is an issue, I just want to say.
It's not a real issue to sane people, of course, but for whatever reason, Chris Hayes is just one of many alleged journalists who work overtime exceedingly hard to portray AOC as a serious person with actual intellectual thoughts.
There are very few organizers in Congress, and I do think that organizers operate differently. It's a different kind of strategy, and what it is really about organizing and really thinking about that word, organizing, segmenting people, being strategic in their actions, in really bringing together a cohesive strategy of putting pressure on the chamber instead of only focusing on the pressures inside the chamber.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
You know, it's very funny to me to think how Chris Hayes and the media might react if a conservative firebrand put out a video that sounded like this.
If you actually look at the science, like the trajectory that we've been on is 4 degrees of warming by 2100. You know, that renders half of the landmass on Earth functionally inhabitable to human life.
Inhabitable? I mean, I think the word she's mispronouncing there is inhabitable, but inhabitable means that you can live there, that it's usable. So what she's actually trying to say, I think, is uninhabitable.
Our planet will become inhabitable.
Whatever. That isn't even the worst part. There, she gives the Earth another 79 years of existence. But just 2 years ago, she said this.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change.
Imagine being a thinking progressive and having this lady trotted out as the face of your movement. Imagine just finishing a think piece on the benefits of Keynesian demand-side economics and flipping on the old TV to see this.
It says tax the rich.
Sorry, we got our window in particular.
Look, I'm not being rude when I say she's not a socialist. She's a socialite. The woman charges $67 with shipping for a simple tax the rich fleece sweatshirt on her website, and $88 for this. She rails against the rich for not paying their fair share of taxes, but she doesn't really believe that, because if she did, she would not have worn the gown and promoted the work of designer Aurora James, the woman who owes $103,000 in back taxes, who received nearly $42,000 in taxpayer assistance during COVID, who has legions of unpaid interns, owes nearly $63,000 in workers' comp, and still managed to scrounge together $250,000 for a table at the Met Gala. Look, it's an act. Just like the climate stuff, just like the border stuff, just like the defund the police stuff, just like the Ted Cruz tried to have me murdered stuff. And yet no matter how embarrassing or ignorant her public performances are, the progressive left and media just can't quit her. And as someone with conservative politics myself, I gotta tell you, I don't mind, because as a great American once said,
it's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
That she is, Edward. That she is indeed.